Hello everybody, we're going live from the Women Inspiring Network. We are very excited to have Shwetana with us today. And as you all know, the Women Inspiring Network took shape during lockdown last year, and we've had a really great reach of more than 20 million people. We did a couple of sessions with the American Embassy on Youth and Empowerment, and it was really amazing what we managed to achieve. We had different women from different walks of life. I can see Sargam here, so she was also one of our panelists. And as you know, we're going to be coming up with a fashion series again on Zoom, which will go live on Facebook. We had another interesting session today with an award-winning author out of Australia on winning minds. And I'm just going to see where is Shwetana, because she's going to be joining us soon. Shwetana. So I've sent her a request, so she should be joining us soon. She's a dance content creator and founder of the Bomb Squad, which is an all-girl dance crew and which aims to popularize the dance form of jazz. And she has women from different, in her squad, she has women of different personalities, and they can show people how women can be strong and bold but have a fun and quirky side to it. So we are really glad that Shwetana is going to be joining us soon, and I think that's her request. I've sent. So she's going to come and tell us about her journey. And for those of you who've joined us for the first time, Women Inspiring Network is an inspirational storytelling platform where we inspire the women of our country. It's a movement to pay it forward. Shwetana, I was just telling our viewers a
Hi,
bit about the
sorry,
Women
give me
Inspiring
1 minute.
Network.
Sweetie, 1 minute, हाँ. I'm just ये double
Yes.
उसमें ना ये मेरे को adjust करना पड़ता है. Camera. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you and me have the
Hello.
same red color
I was
going on.
just going to say that. I was going to say high five on the redhead squad.
Yes. So, ours is an inspirational storytelling platform where
Right.
we create, share, and inspire the women. It's a movement to pay it forward. And of course, we took shape during lockdown last year. And we're very glad that we've had a more than 20 million reach. And we're so glad that you could join us today. So, in your own words, Shwetana, tell us a bit about your journey. And when did you first start dancing?
Okay, so I started dancing about 14 years back. It was actually very random. So when I was younger, I was always like, I always thought कि मतलब उस time boogie boogie वगैरह होता था. So I used to always tell mama that, I want to join boogie boogie. And I was honestly not a, there's some gifted dancers. I was never a natural and a gifted dancer. I'm just putting it out there. I never was. So my mom was like, great, but it's not something that you're that good at. So either enhance that skill, otherwise forget about it. Dehradun say I'm not taking you to Bombay. So so then I forgot about it because I was like, this is not my thing. Plus, I had joined Kathak when I was younger, and my teacher at that time, of course, times were different. So she told me I'm too fat to dance. Yeah. So that had happened, and then I think once I came to Bombay, I was not going through a not such a great phase in my life. So my mom put me for dance class, and that was it. I was doing fashion marketing and management. I left everything, and I was like, I will dance because I think I continue to do it because of the way it made me feel. So for me, that was very important, and I was like, this is where I belong. Even though I struggled a lot, it took me a long time to become a decent dancer. But I was like, karna to hai because I love the way it made me feel.
So I believe you were told you could never dance, and yet you followed what you love. What was the drive behind this? Because I've had a similar experience. I remember when I started my career in communication, people said that I'm not in the right profession, and I actually thought maybe I'm not in the right profession, but maybe I should change things and see, if I join a different organization, if it's going to work. And here I am. So I wanted to know, like, what were your thoughts behind that?
So, one second. Just, I'm so sorry, Stuti. Somebody asked me, where did you color my hair? I color my hair at home with streaks hair color. Okay, so honestly, when initially I was told I can't dance, I was very young. I was quite I was kid, and at that time it motivated me a lot, and I was like, yeah, maybe I can't, because as a teacher, an older person who you look up to is saying that to you. So at that, and I honestly don't blame her, because times at that time were very different. So I mean, I was also a very different person. We all grow through times. We all get become better people, I think, as we learn. So at that time, obviously, that time I was like, hard ठीक है नहीं होगा मुझसे. So I was like journalism, lawyer, and my mom said, "तो lawyer मत बन," because she said you are too, like, she told me, you will never be able to make a good lawyer because you get too personally involved with things and people. Yeah, so then I was like, ठीक है journalism. So journalism के बाद मैंने कहा fashion करती हूँ. So all that happened. But once I came here and I joined the dance class, it just made me feel different. So I was like, okay, I am going to do this. And by then, I think I developed and become a kind of person who, if anyone ever told me that you can't do this, I was like, oh really? Oh really? Let me show you. And my mentor, actually, he knew that I am like that. So he knew how to press my buttons, and he was like, "इसको मैं बोलूँगा नहीं कर सकती तो करके दिखाएगी." But it's true. I was always like that, because even as a dancer, my teachers later told me they all used to bet, छोड़ देगी अभी छोड़ देगी, दो महीने में छोड़ देगी, 3 महीने में छोड़ देगी, because as I said, I wasn't very good at it. I was stiff as a log. I didn't have too much. I didn't have mobility. I was not good at it, and it's true. I was just very hardworking. So that is so. But because people told me I can't do it, I was like, okay then.
Yeah. But I can totally relate to it, because when I went for my mass comm in Pune, my director told me that, oh, you come from a traditional family, why should I waste a seat in you? You'll get married early. And I said, I'll prove it to you. I'll have my company one day. So, when someone tells you you can't do it, I think, us women, we become all the more determined to prove it that, yes, we can have it all. So that is really, really inspiring. I can see a lot of your fans are saying, someone's in Muscat, can you provide online sessions? I'm a great fan. They love your dancing. So these are some of the amazing things I'm hearing about you and, reading here by your fans. And tell us more about the Bomb Squad. How did it start off? It's an all-girl Mumbai crew, and you are popularizing jazz. And why did you choose jazz? If you could throw some light on that, that would be great.
So, firstly, hi Isha, thank you for my eye makeup compliment. You noticed. Okay. Okay. So, Bomb Squad was something. Bomb Squad was something that started as a. So basically, we were all trained dancers, and we had got out of our respective companies. We had moved on to do more things, and we were like, I was like, okay, we all need to train together. So that's how we decided to just train together, and we were all women, and expressing ourselves through being sexy, through being sensual, was something that came very easily and comfortably to us. So that's how we said, let's pursue this further. And that's how Bomb Squad happened, and it continued. And I think that was what was behind it. Now, jazz-based was, I'll be very, very honest, we are not completely focusing on jazz at this moment for the very reason that we are content creators, and we need to have views, we need to be able to adhere to the normal audience as well. So yes, we do jazz. That's our forte. But we do your popular things and popular choreographies and commercial choreographies in Bollywood as well. But jazz is our strength, because we're trained girls. So we're all trained. So that was one of the reasons we chose jazz, because I think it made us very comfortable in our own skin. We're all different kind of women, right? We're all different shapes, sizes, colors, ages. So it made us very, very comfortable in who we were. And we were all trained in jazz, something that was not very common at that point of time. Now, luckily, it is. So yes, that's how it happened. Ragini is Ragini is one of my teachers who taught me a lot.
Wow.
She's also here, a beautiful dancer and teacher. So yes.
But that's so amazing. And then I hear that you're fond of animals and you have a lot of pets. So tell us your life with pets, and you're an animal lover. So how has the pandemic been for you, considering you must have spent a lot of time when you were in lockdown with your pets?
They've been a life savior for me, Sufi. To be very honest, life savior is not is a small word. Honestly, I've grown up with dogs. I've always grown up with dogs since I was a child. We always had dogs, but I think at that time they were our pets. They were family, and we did everything for them. But they were our pets. Like right now, they are my kids. So now I think that difference has kind of happened. But honestly, to tell you, I I recently a year and a half back, and Indy came into my life. She was rescued by my sister, and we had no intentions of keeping her. We were just fostering her, but we were a majorly failed foster, and we ended up keeping her for good because of the effect she had on us. So I think I was always an animal lover, is what I thought. But I think the real meaning of being an animal lover is something that I have learned after my noodle came into my life. So yes, I have two dogs. I have a cat. I have them tattooed on my hand as well. So yes, for me I've turned vegetarian. I am trying my best to do what I can because for me now I understand what it's like to be a true. I think I'm still learning. I am still learning. I've, I'm not there every day. I'm learning something new, but I'm open to learning. And I think what I am today, when it comes to being loving animals, is very different from what I was, and what I will be.
Yeah. And so we also got to know that it was you who proposed your husband and the other way around. So what does it take for women to, getting down on their knees and proposing their loved one? Would you like to throw some light on that?
Absolutely. It's my favorite subject to talk about. Hope you go vegan soon. Yes, Saragi, I will eventually. I'm trying to ward off milk as well. Milk is my favorite thing. But yes, fingers crossed, I will. It's my goal. It's my next goal to go vegan. Okay, so honestly, I've my parents have never brought me up like a girl. They brought me up like their child, not as their daughter. They've always brought me up as their kid. So I've never, honest to God, fortunately, I've never faced this kind of. A lot of people have faced so much sexism and all of that. I have honestly, luckily, probably the bunch of friends I had, relationships I had, my parents, I've never had this girl boy thing. Never. Like, she's a girl and all of that. I've never had that. So, touch wood. Even at work, barely ever. I don't think I've ever had that. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky to be surrounded by the right people. So, but being brought up like that, for me, it was always like, matlab, mere ko chahiye mera dream proposal. And I always wanted a dream proposal. And I knew if my husband proposed to me in one room, which he would, in one room with maybe champagne and a cake, I would say no. I would say, nobody saw this, it doesn't count. Because that's how I am as a person. But my husband's the opposite. He likes to keep things personal. He's not so, like he calls me filmy, he calls me dramatic, he calls me, not emotional, but he's also emotional in his way. But he calls me, hey, like extra dramatic, filmy. And I am like that. So first I expected that of him, and I was like, no. I had that thing in my mind. The boy has to propose. But eventually, I was like, 1 second. I am like that. He's not like that. So why should I expect him to, propose? And if I am like that, so I propose. And I spoke to my mom. I spoke to my friends. I spoke to his friends, and not one person discouraged me or said anything that was even little bit which I doubted myself. Everyone was so excited, including my mother. My mother though was like, you can put it in the champagne, you can put it in the cake. Oh no, wait, you choke on it. Don't chill. Relax. We planned this. It took about 3 months of planning, but that was the whole idea. Even for us as boyfriend girlfriend at that time, because we were living in together first. it was, we never had gender roles. So he is like that. That he is touch wood. It's never boy, girl, man, woman, nothing. I mean, it's just, I don't know how, it's never been like that with him also. I mean, maybe to some extent, like as I said, I've grown. I probably had some that, man, woman thing. He never had that. So, I don't think it was much of a big deal because everyone encouraged me, and I was like, "Excuse me, yes, you're right. It doesn't depend on what gender we are. It depends on the kind of personality we are, right? मेरे को बड़ा proposal चाहिए तो मैं करूँगी." So that's how it happened.
This happened. That's exactly the reason why we have the Women Inspiring Network, to have such stories out there. Because why stereotype everything? And I have almost a 5-year-old, and so sometimes when I see that fairy tales, and I'm sort of reading to her, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so typical. Like as if like a woman should always be waiting for something to happen. So we need to change the way we do things, and I'm so glad you're sharing this with us today, because that is truly inspiring. And
I've had a lot of inspirational women in my life, so that I think plays an important role. Starting with my mom, very honestly, she's somebody she's always been like, she's the one who I look up to. Not just her, my teachers, my mentors, the people around me. So I've been touch wood. I've been privileged when it comes to having the kind of people in my life. I will be very honest about that. So.
But that's really amazing to know. In fact, you have such a great following on social media, and everybody's now comparing you. They're talking to you, Indian Shakira, and your amazing dance moves. So how does it feel to inspire so many people out there?
There are a couple of feelings I have about this. Firstly, it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming because obviously there's so many people looking at you, and even as a teacher, or a mentor that I was, because my mentors have shaped a major part of who I am. So I know that this was something which I was conscious about from the beginning, that I have to be careful about what I say or what I do, because I know there are people watching me, and I may know what I'm doing may not be right, and because none of us are perfect. But what if somebody who's watching me and following me does it because I am doing it? So I don't want that to happen. So I've always been extra conscious. Sometimes it gets a little but then I also understand that it makes me a better person, because it makes me think that, okay, if I'm really thinking that thinking twice before doing this, it's not, I mean, I really shouldn't do it, or I really shouldn't say it. So I think it's a mixed feeling, but overall it's great. I love it, and I am what I am on my social media is what I am as a person. And I mean, it's not necessary for you to do that, but I am like that. Like, what I am is what I am on Instagram. Ye mein hu. So it's like that.
And you have such a huge following on social media. So I want you to give us some tips on how have you grown your following to such a big number.
No, Stuti, I don't have a very big following on Instagram. I wish I did, yeah. It's not so big, and it's at the very, honestly, social media wise, it's at a very stagnant phase. So I don't know why, but that's besides the point. Sometimes it feels a little, because social media is also one part of how you.
But you have more than 100K.
It's nothing nowadays. Nothing. So many brands, sometimes when they approach you, or so many of these apps, when they approach you for work, they're like, no, but we are looking for over 500K. Nahi hai yaar, 500K mere. So that does make a difference, yes. But I am, I've kind of put that past me, because because the people who are there, who are following me and who are part of my Instagram family I mean, I love the conversations we have. I love the fact that, because I don't want people to idolize me. I want people to be there with me, not like that, and that's what it is. Like, so many times on my stories, if they don't like something, they point it out. There's something not right, they point it out. So they're also my conscience sometimes. So I think growing social media is a very it's a very tricky game. you can, it goes either ways. You can follow trends, you can be yourself, you can not be yourself, you can be aesthetically amazing, you can be aesthetically not amazing. I think social media is a very tricky game. Something just sometimes clicks and it clicks, and that's how it is. So,
And tell us a bit about any learnings which you've had in your career or any obstacles which you faced when you wanted to choose your chosen profession of being a dancer.
यार obstacles तो बहुत आए हैं यार. Dancer is like, Stuti, you know, especially 13 years back. Now dancers still have so many opportunities. You can be a dancer, choreographer, an assistant, a teacher, wedding choreography, be in an academy, go perform. Social media is huge for dancers right now. So there's so much opportunity. उस time ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं था. Ush time the first thing was, even though my parents have always been supportive of me, their main thing was like, bro, how are you going to earn money? What is wrong with you? And also, like I said, I was not good at what I did. Dancing was not something that came naturally to me. So they were, of course, they were worried. And I know, like that time, I was like, oh, my parents hate me. You know, I think we've all gone through that phase when we're like, oh, I don't like my parents, they hate me, they don't know what they're doing. Now, today, I understand where they come from, and where they were coming from, and what they said at that time, they were just worried about me. But yet, my parents were like, no, this is not something you should do. That's why when I was 19, I left my house. I was like, I can't do this. I left my house, I was living on my own and everything. But plus, because I was not very good at it, and I had this ego. So since 16, I used to earn my own money. I was like, I don't want to take any money from my parents. So yeah, I didn't have too much money. I was a big girl, 5'7", big. All the boys were little small, thin, skinny. Even all the girls at that time. So I was one of the biggest girls, biggest people in the room. So yeah, at that time body positivity wasn't a thing. So I was constantly being told I'm too big to be a dancer. I'm too big to do lifts. I'm too big. I'm just too big. Like I need to lose weight. I need to do this to a point where I'd stopped eating. I'd started smoking, which is so wrong. As a, not because of anything, but it's so bad for your health. So only to lose weight. So there were a lot of things that were probably not. So yeah, and even as a dancer, because I wasn't so great, I didn't get so many opportunities in the beginning. But today, honestly, I wouldn't like to change a thing because I think all that has made me what I am. And I always say this, I am not a great dancer. I'm a good dancer. I know that for myself. I'm not an excellent dancer. But I know I'm a very good teacher. And if I hadn't gone through all these experiences, and if I didn't have the the mentors and the backing that I had at that time, I don't think I would have been where I am today. And I'm thankful for all of that.
And tell me something. So, for our viewers who are in tier 2, tier 3 cities, should they do some dance classes if someone has a passion for dancing, or any workshops if they want to enter your field, your dancing field? Does that
So
help?
Absolutely. It's like, yeah, I always say, आपको professional dancer, आपको social media dancer बनना है तो वो अलग है. Social media dancer means आप entertainer भी हो. Only social media dancer अगर आपको बनना है, that's different. Honestly, today, I wouldn't have said this 10 years ago, but today, that's a completely different perspective. Ronak Barrow, no, I'm not going to be seeing the comments now because you're getting you're getting too annoying. Sorry. Okay. So, my point is, अगर आपको social media dancer बनना है, things are very different. But if you want to be a professional dancer, it's very important to train. Very important. It's like if you want to be a professional lawyer. If you want to be a professional lawyer, you cannot learn through YouTube. If you want to be a professional surgeon, imagine learning through YouTube tutorials and TikToks to be a surgeon. It's not possible. It's the same thing. If you want to be a professional dancer, there's a lot that comes with it. So I think being training is extremely important. If you want to be just a dancer who puts their work out there, be an entertainer, that's a completely different thing. So it depends on your goals. If you want to be a professional dancer, train, become a better dancer. Yes, you need to do classes, you need to train, you need to. It's like any other profession. You train, फिर internship करो, फिर studies करो, फिर professional बनो, like that.
Yeah, so true. And what does dance mean to you? And do you think that dance is empowering us?
What does dance mean to me is that's the full 2 hour conversation we can have. Dance. I've always said dance for me is like being in a relationship. It's not perfect. It's never been perfect. It's a huge part of who I am, and we have our ups and downs. It's There are times when it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. That there are times when I just wanted to go away from my life. But at the end of the day, I know it's what makes me whole. It's just dance is just something that makes me complete. Like I don't think I would be Satana Kanwar if it wasn't for dance. It has taught me so much in life. Like what we don't understand today, like is just by doing choreography. So just by not having that journey, I think that we had as dancers, a lot of dancers who trained professionally and who went through academies can say this, that the journey that we went through changed us as people. And just by learning choreographies, you don't go through that journey. So you can't really experience dance, if you don't go through that journey. And I've always believed how you are is how you dance. What kind of person you are is the way you will dance, which is why my teachers, my trainers always also molded me not just as a dancer, but also as a person, right? So that it's like it goes hand in hand. So my relationship with dance dance for me is like being in a relationship. It's not perfect, but I wouldn't want it any other way, and I wouldn't want to do anything without it.
That's so amazing what you just said, and I can see, if someone has a specific question, about Shwetana's journey or anything which is inspirational, please feel free to put a comment here right now, and we will definitely take up those questions because the Women Inspiring Network is an inspirational storytelling platform. The aim is to inspire women out there. And since we're sort of reaching the end of our session, if we get a question which is relevant, or if you want to answer any of the questions, do let me know, Shwetana. But do share a winning message for our viewers. Okay, there's a very nice question from actually Isha. From whom have you gotten inspired?
My inspiration, as I said, it started with my mom. I will always say she's the one person who inspired me to be like. And honestly, my inspiration, there are so many people who inspire me. When I scroll through Instagram, when I read about people, when I watch YouTube videos, or when I watch TED Talks, or when I watch Josh Talks, and I see Humans of Bombay. I see so many things. I see Women's Inspiring Network. I see people there, and there's so many people who inspire me. My friends, my squad, everybody, I think, inspires me in some or the other way. But my main inspiration is, and will always be Mama. Yeah, that's what it is. Somebody just asked me why red hair. So I've actually put this in my Q&A on my story highlights. Firstly, I think it was really nice. And secondly,
it's so vibrant. It's so vibrant and full of energy.
Yeah, so it makes me feel like that. And also, I think red has a lot of, red is sensual, red is assertive, red is love. So I think all these things define me as a person. And yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really amazing to know. And since we are reaching the end of our session, do tell us a winning message which can inspire our viewers sitting across India and globally now.
Okay. So there are a lot of, first of all, I'm going to just say that there are a lot of, where I am today, there are a lot of people who are responsible for this. A lot of people, a lot of teachers, a lot of mentors, family. There are a lot of people who taught me a lot. Even the smallest thing, if somebody has taught me, and I'm so, so, so grateful to them. No matter where we are, what relationship we share today. We may not even be in touch, but I will always be grateful. So I just want to say, when you get success, when you get appreciation, when you reach somewhere that you do, don't forget about the people who helped you reach there, because I think that is extremely important. And there's so many people who are I am what I am because of them. I mean, mom, dad, my squad, my ladies. I mean, no matter what happens, there are I am what I am because of them, and I would just like to say that no matter what, those you are where you are because of a lot of people who helped you. So don't forget about them when you achieve your success and your appreciation that you get in the future. That's all I'd like to say. And live and let live.
That's
Be
that's so
yourself.
that's so lovely. And in fact, there's a very nice question from Ruchita. If you have time, can we take that? How do you practice flexibility? And she loves you and so inspiring.
How do I practice flexibility? She asked.
Yes.
Yeah, is here. Muskan is here. My favorite partner is here, Radhika. Sorry. How do I practice flexibility? Yeah, my flexibility काफी चली गई है अभी. But yes, I have been a very unflexible person when I started off, and it took me 2 years to get it split. Yeah, it took me a lot of time, and that every day, practicing. So I think stretching, join a class to stretch the right way. For something like flexibility, you can easily get injured. So I think joining the right class is very, very, very important. There's some great flexibility classes that are happening. I mean, I know some of my friends, so I'm just going to say, take their names. There's Shruti, there is Mukta, there is Joanna. So these are the people that I know who are beautiful dancers, trained, and I think they can guide you the right way. So for flexibility, I think it's really, really important to at least do a few classes for a few months, a few years, so you understand, and then you can always retain that information and stretch yourself at home. But for flexibility, stretching every day is very important. Very important. So I'm not doing that right now, but because my body already काफी खुल गई है, so it doesn't take me that much time to get back. But yeah, for flexibility, stretching every day is enjoyed badly.
But thank you so much for joining us, Shwetana, and inspiring us. It was lovely to have you. And
Thank
all our
you.
viewers out there, if you think someone has an inspirational story to share, do feel free to DM us.
Yes.
And we do a lot of panel discussions on Facebook, which goes live on Facebook. So, Shwetana, we just did one with US Embassy, which was on youth and empowerment. We've done something with Prem Jain Memorial Trust. We've done a fashion tech and sustainability with IIT. We've done a film series with Inox. So some of these sessions have really made us have a reach of millions and millions of audience. And, it has kept our team really inspired and motivated. And we love to get stories like yours out there. So thank you so much for joining us today and sparing your time. And we look forward to having you on our platform once again when we're doing any panel discussions.
My absolute pleasure. I loved this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll do a live soon again. Bye.
Yes.